right, consumer prices came in about as expected today. Inflation continues to soften from the 9% peak last year. Actually, top-line inflation came in 3.2% versus July of a year ago, a slight, tiny increase from the 3% registered in June. So-called core rate, ex-food and energy, still running 4.7% ahead of last year. Food and beverage prices, 4.8% ahead of last year. And grocery prices at home, food at home, up 3.6%. So inflation, still sticky, still stubborn, but a lot lower. The level of consumer prices, however, is still up roughly 16% over the course of Joe Biden's administration. That's the level of prices, which seldom comes down. It's led by energy and food. In recent months, we've had a rest from the energy problem, but those may be turning back up. AAA nationwide gasoline headed towards $4 a gallon. Joe Biden's out there on the campaign trail telling us he created 13 million new jobs, but no humanoid can substantiate that number since it has to be adjusted for returning COVID jobs. Once you add that to the mix, he really hadn't created hardly any new jobs at all, but I don't want to upset him. Manufacturing and housing are in a big slump right now, have been for a while. And I know Wall Street says this time's going to be different, but once again, I will point to the deeply inverted yield curve, which is upside down with short rates much higher than long rates in the Treasury market. That indicates credit crunch potential. And the New York Fed yield curve model of the economy is showing a 65% probability of a recession in the next 12 months. Also, bank stocks, a leading indicator of the economy, are down 23% over the past 6 months, another warning sign. And I will just say, over the past 6 quarters, 18 months, real GDP has grown at a paltry 1.3% average pace. That includes 2 negative quarters in the first half of last year, which was Joe Biden's first full year in office. The only supply-side source of growth coming from the lingering Trump tax cuts, though Biden is doing his best to repeal them. Other than that, the Biden regulatory assault on business, along with continued overspending and, of course, the war against fossil fuels, have all set the stage for a continuation of what Democratic economist Larry Summers years ago called secular stagnation, which I don't like one bit, and I don't think America's buying it. And that's why Biden's economic polls are so incredibly low. A recession next year will sink Mr. Biden and his Democratic Party. Trust me on that. That is, if they haven't already dug their own deep grave of corruption.